Hello there. Don't be alarmed. We're just preparing your listening device for Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving. We do this, of course, by filling the radio with water. Don't worry, we're professionals. Thanks to me, you won't even get wet. You see, I've crammed every appendage of my body into the cracks and crevices of your radio, ensuring an airtight seal. By the way, don't touch your on-off knob. That's a very sensitive area. Anyway, I should remind you, we believe in the buddy system just like diving, so don't listen alone. Call your buddy and tell them that Scuba Radio is about to begin.
We're gonna start a new life under the sea.
So, am I gonna drown?
Of course not. Just stay calm and let the gentle currents relax your every muscle.
Up under the sea, under the sea.
Did it just get warmer?
There'll be no accusations, just friendly crustaceans under the sea.
Where the hell are the sharks?
And now, here's your dive guide for Scuba Radio, Greg the Dive Master.
And welcome. This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. Man, we got a special show for you today as we kick off today's event from Jules Undersea Lodge in Key Largo. We're hanging out with the History of Diving Museum folks. It's Vintage Dive Day. Now, this happened last week, so we're taping on a Sunday. As you heard me discuss last week on the show, I hauled ass down to Key Largo right after the broadcast. Came down to Key Largo, went to Jules Undersea Lodge, and they are hot and heavy, getting ready to send some people into the water with these double hose regulators, you know, like the Mike Nelson gear, and they got a Mark V helmet demonstration they're going to do in just a bit. Now, I got my old friend Terrence Teisel from Nowie here.
Hello,
and Terrence, is this all your gear, buddy, or what?
This is, believe it or not. Yeah, it's a little bit of a hobby, and there's a big group of folks, enthusiasts that do this sort of stuff, and we happen to be fortunate enough to do it. And annually, at least, we come down and help the museum in the Florida Keys, History Diving Museum.
Right.
And this enables them to use this gear, put some folks in the water. We supply the help so they get over the newness, and then all that money goes to the museum to help them continue to run. So
yes, which is
a huge friend of Nowie's.
Yes, yeah, no doubt. Well, you know, it's just a great exhibit for the entire dive industry, for sure. So it's good to see the Nowie folks getting behind this. But all this vintage gear is your stuff. Did you use this, or you just collect it, or what do you do?
Well, it's funny now. People, I think, want it to not just end up in a dumpster somewhere.
Or a museum.
Or a museum getting dusty. It's really cool because we'll take this stuff, and all of us can attest when it gets to you, it's typically really, really sketchy. And
right.
What's so cool is this way it gets another lease on life, and a whole new generation of divers realize, and they've heard me quoted 1,000 times, there's a reason that the world fell in love with scuba diving, and this was the equipment that caused the world to do that.
Well, you know, this is what Mike Nelson did on Sea Hunt, right? So it's your opportunity to get a cool photo op. Now, I had some of my crew do this yesterday. On the first day of Vintage Dive Day. They loved it. They came up, they were bursting with energy, but they did say, the latest and greatest gear might be slightly better than what he had back in the day.
Blasphemy, but you know.
Is it?
No,
I don't know.
No, we're not cave diving with this stuff. We're not.
Well,
doing
exactly.
deep stuff with it,
it's more for the experience, not necessarily for the performance.
Yeah, but it
Is
makes
that
you
right?
appreciate Zale Perry.
Well,
200 plus feet on stuff like that.
No doubt about it. Yeah, she basically taught Mike Nelson, or Kurt Douglas how to dive.
I think she was
right?
one of the first. What was Zale's number? She was like under 10, right? Yeah, a one-digiter. Wow.
Yeah, of course. Yes, she's quite the lady for sure. Now you got a bunch of volunteers. All these are Nowie folks just helping out.
Almost all of the Nowie training department here. We have a Nowie board member here. We have the Nowie marketing department here, and then we have the Nowie honorary assistant CEO / training director here.
Okay, she's the only one not eating, so I'll ask her. What's your name?
Hi, I'm Libby.
Libby, welcome, or thank you for letting us come and watch what you guys are doing. So you guys are putting the gear together now. Mm-hmm. So what makes this stuff different? You just strap it on the tank? I mean, it's pretty stripped down stuff, really, when it comes to, it's a hard mount back plate. And that's one thing, but the double hose regulator, I mean, is there a lot of extra stuff you got to do to make sure this stuff is ready to go? Or what do you think?
No, it's. I mean, obviously they have maintenance cycles like every other piece, but what's funny is the advanced stuff here, which is these Royal Aquamasters, they're effectively a conch shell 14 with the second stage behind you.
Yeah, I mean, just built in.
The kits are still the same and everything. So
really?
Yeah.
So things haven't changed a lot, but you got two hoses, so it looks cooler. gives you that rebreather kind of vibe, maybe even if you want to look at it that way.
Lucky that with this many of them in one location, that the women around us aren't just swooning.
Yeah, well, obviously.
They had to go through training to avoid that at all times.
Yeah, well, hey, you got to watch out for the paparazzi. We're trouble. Exactly. So, but what do you? How many sets of gear do you have here for Vintage Dive Day? You figure?
With 10 tanks, 10 72s. Probably 8 or so Royal Aquamasters or DA Aquamasters, then a few others just as spares. Then what's nice is the museum helps out because they get a lot of stuff that's donated, and quite honestly, not all of it is sometimes exhibit quality. I mean, how many backplates can you show?
Right.
So they will kick some stuff to us, we'll refurbish it, and then use it during these events to help benefit the museum. So.
Gotcha. Now, does the whole team get it in the water too, or are they just here to assist people to get in?
There is a double hose dweeb of some kind.
Yes. Double hose dweeb. Double hose dweeb.
Now the vintage community is going to fry me for that. Alan Clouda and Brian back in the day, bless his soul, and all the guys, Rob Stu, Rob S, and all the guys that really are into this because they do. I think they're even going to do the resurrection of what they call the Sand Dog this year.
Yeah.
Which is where they used to get into Silver Springs, where obviously Lloyd.
That's where they filmed the stuff, right?
Yeah, they would get in there, and so it sounds like they're going to actually have a get together that hopefully I'm going to try to sneak away from. If not.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, here at Jules Undersea Lodge, I mean, this is a nice spot in Key Largo. It's protected. You don't have to worry about the weather too much. Yeah. This isn't as good as Silver Springs, but it's still protected, and it makes it for an easy, almost pool-like environment, right?
Well, for modern divers, you put them in the water without a BC, that they tend to give you the hairy eyeball. Like,
well, exactly, yeah.
But back in the day, and these guys know all those forgotten skills, how to properly weight somebody. And what's so neat, I know you know the Avello system really well.
Yes.
Waiting for this and an Avello system is identical. So it's like it's like the technology has just jumped. And what's funny is today.
Now, why is that? So what is that? I mean, I see the tanks are older style, the steels, and they're heavy. Yeah. So I mean, how are they similar in that sense?
Well, they're similar in the fact that you want to be weighted almost perfectly, almost swimmer's buoyancy, like you remember from your Avello course.
Right.
Versus nowadays we're overcompensating because we have that big air cell on our back, and we all need BCs still.
So you don't even need a weight belt with these things.
You do, yeah.
Oh, you do.
And what we typically do is we use for the ease of getting people in the water. We're just using some free diving weight belt. We adjust it for each one.
Okay.
Guys, how long does it take you to typically get somebody's weight adjusted?
What do you figure? Couple minutes, they say. Yeah. All right. Well, looks like your typical free diver, weight belt, no problem. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then, how often are you doing these things? I mean, it's like once a quarter or something.
Well,
you see it out and about.
On them, we've done it as much as twice a year. Typically, they've been coming annually.
Yeah.
And then we'd like to branch out because we talk about some of the visibility and stuff. We'd like to see if we could approach some folks in the Keys that maybe have some stuff that is even friendlier from a visibility standpoint.
Yeah. Okay. Understood.
To talk to some of those resort owners if they would let us, borrow the place for a day and get some people in the water and help the museum make money. So.
Right. So all you guys like doing this? Is it kind of a cool little hobby thing to do on the weekend every now and then? Yeah. They're all like, oh hell yeah, we're two hose dweebs, or no, I don't know.
Now we're doomed.
Double hose dweebs.
Diver. See, now let.
Well, see, if they'll let me, I'd like to join the club.
Oh yeah. No. Have you
that's
really never done this yet?
I have not. I have not done this. I was talking to Lisa from the History of Diving Museum yesterday on Scuba Radio. We're taping for this week's show,
we'll get you in a good one, and you'll go down there and channel your inner Mike Nelson.
Well, that's what I hope to do. And I was told I'm supposed to cut the hose of my dive buddy that I want to take out on the left side.
Well, there's two experiences. You can have the sea hunt experience where you have the underwater knife fight, and that's typically done by Chris. And then the other one is you can do the creature from the Black Lagoon experience, which is where several members of the team come out of the mangroves and try to rip you apart. So
really,
okay. Either way, it's high adventure, man stuff. So
okay. Well, both of them sound like I'm not man enough for either, but I will definitely volunteer one of my scuba squad members. How about that?
Yesterday.
Yeah. Well, hey, we got many, so we can sacrifice a couple.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Volunteer labor.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So, okay, so they got the double hose regulators. We got some other demonstrations. Lisa's here from the History Diving Museum. What's about to happen with the Mark V thing?
We are getting ready to have Triton Surface Supply Diving and Brass Hat Divers do a Mark V and Miller Dunn hard hat demonstration in Jules Undersea Lodge. Dip in and have fun.
Okay, well, let's go check it out. We'll talk about it next on the world's first radio show devoted to diving. Stay close.
This is the worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Bula! You'll hear that a lot when you visit Fiji. It's more than a greeting. It's the spirit of this friendly country. With 333 islands, white sand beaches, and year-round tropical warmth, it's hard not to feel happy at this exceptional dive destination known as the soft coral capital of the world. Fiji Airways has a modern fleet of aircraft to take you to Fiji in style and at great prices. Contact your travel agent now or go to FijiAirways.com and plan your Fijian dive adventure. That's FijiAirways.com.
Come as a guest, leave as a friend. It's a philosophy that comes from the top down at Explorer Ventures liveaboards. It doesn't matter if you're traveling solo, with a buddy, or group. Explorer Ventures does the liveaboard dive experience right. For proof, know Explorer Ventures has one of the best repeat customer stats in the dive industry. They're also the official liveaboard company of Scuba Radio. You've likely heard us talk about Explorer Ventures Scuba Radio scuba cruise trips many times, and we invite you to join us on the next one. However, whether we're on board with you or not, I'll bet an Explorer Ventures liveaboard trip will be one of the best dive experiences you've ever had. It just doesn't get any better. Saba St. Kitts, Turks and Caicos, the Galapagos, Maldives, Indonesia, humpback whales, and the Silver Banks, new destinations and itineraries are being added all the time. Call one of their talented travel consultants to find the Explorer Ventures liveaboard experience that's just right for you. 1-800-322-3577. That's 1-800-322-3577. Or visit explorerventures.com. That's explorerventures.com.
Hey, baby, what's going down?
Later, nerd.
Are you lacking with the ladies?
Nope.
Enhance your scuba superpowers with a new Scuba Radio hat.
Wow, nice hat.
Just picked it up at ScubaRadio.com.
Buy 2 Scuba Radio hats and get free shipping.
Need a dive buddy, sexy?
Always. And I got a Scuba Radio hat for you, too.
New Scuba Radio hats are now available at ScubaRadio.com.
So cool.
Order yours today, or stay a loser.
Prepare to rig for dive!
Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive. Somewhere in the middle of the 7 Mile Bridge, he said, Bella, do you want to see the rest? She said, I haven't a care, Lenny, just take me there. And they drove all the way to Key West.
I want to go.
US 1, heading down US 1.
Hi, this is Mermaid Tony from the Florida Keys. You are listening to Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving. Now, here's the guy who's the reason I won't drink another Jaeger bomb.
You just wake up in a room and have no idea where you are.
Until the next time we meet.
All right, who wants to party?
Greg, the Dive Master.
Who's known as having the silkiest, smoothest voice in the 90s.
Giggity.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen in the Florida Keys. I am Greg the Dive Master, and I'll tell you what, I never thought I'd see this. After 28 years, here I am at Jules Undersea Lodge, looking at the Mark V monster from Scooby-Doo. I mean, they just did a demo here with this. The diver came up the ladder after, they suited him up and he went underwater. He got his picture taken by Scuba Santa. Say hi, Scuba Santa.
Hi, Scuba Santa.
There he is. We're going to talk to him in just a bit, find out what's that all about. But I never thought I'd see an underwater Santa Claus taking a picture of a guy in a Mark V helmet outfit. The only thing missing was the neon green light beaming from his helmet, like in Scooby-Doo. Yeah, Lisa, this is something. This is quite a thing. Gearing up took him probably about, 10 minutes at least.
It takes about 10-15 minutes. It takes a minimum of 2 surface tenders to help him, and he's in a classic World War II era Mark V dive suit and canvas suit.
Very cool. Yeah. How many times have they used this in Halloween? Have they?
I don't know if they have. We should do a Halloween or a Friday the 13th dive.
Yeah, I'm hip. Yeah, how was the experience? You've done this many times, I assume?
Yeah, it's a blast, as always.
Yeah? Have you ever done this during Halloween just for the get up and stuff, or is it too much work?
It's a little heavy at that point.
Yes, it'd be hard to trick or treat. You might get one piece of candy with all the way. How heavy is the helmet, you figure? What is it?
Helmet alone, it's probably close to 62 pounds.
But total, without all the weight belts and everything, they said, what, 190 you were telling me?
Yeah,
is that what
190.
Yeah, about 190.
That is impressive. I mean, did you have to work out for this? You're just young and spry. You could pull this off.
You know how it is.
Yes, of course I do. He looks at me and he's like, "Oh, of course you could do it." Right, of course. Yeah, it's a guy thing. Right. So, how do you maintain these things? I mean, I'm gonna talk to the tenders while they're disrobing him. Is that the technical term? You're not undressing him. What do you call this?
You're basically donning or undonning the dress.
Okay,
So,
that sounds much more manly.
Yeah.
So what is? I mean, how do you maintain something like this? Is it just because you're familiar with it? You've been doing this for many years, or what?
Yeah, we go through a lot of different schools and different things like that. A lot of it's just tradition of older Mark V divers that have done it. Back in the day, they passed down that tradition to you, and that's just how it is with anything, you know.
And the suit itself, it's like a canvas kind of thing. So do you have to maintain it? I mean, obviously this stuff wears out.
I service the Mark V after every dive.
Yep. And then that takes how long?
Half hour. 45
is that
minutes.
it? You gotta like grease O-rings and things like
you
that.
Take things apart. Since we're in salt water, salt water doesn't go with anything.
Right.
So you got to rinse it, clean it, and then re-lubricate it and bring it all back together and make sure it works.
Now you got a whole setup like this. I mean, what is the value of something like this? This is like a priceless antique kind of deal, or could you even put a price on it?
You can buy a brand new hat from Desco for about $8,000.
Yeah.
This one, last time I saw one go for close to $27,000.
Ouch! Wow.
So
that's for the whole get up and go.
That's just the hat.
That's just the hat. Okay.
Because it's old.
Right. It's old. It has to be refurbed and brought up to spec to a certain thing level or something like that. And what about the suit itself and all that kind of stuff? That's crazy expensive, isn't it?
This is an actual World War II suit from the Navy.
I'll ask you the question while the guy's still in the suit. What do they do when they have to urinate?
Well, really don't.
He's like, yeah, I smelled it for the last 30 minutes, so I guess
Actually,
no.
You just bought a suit. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. How does it smell in there? Is there a particular odor you get?
A little musty.
A little musty. Okay, that's fair. That's what you'd expect.
You store it in air conditioning as much as you can.
Yeah.
Climate controlled the best. Dehumidifier if you can.
Right.
And then that just prolongs the life of all the rubber and the canvas. The leather, as you can see here, that's a leather O-ring.
Yeah.
Going around. Everything's leather.
Really? Okay. So it's not plastic. It's leather, and you got to do all this kind of stuff to keep it maintained.
You can tell it was done from the 30s and 40s. That's actually elephant hide.
Wow. Okay.
So you have to use neat's foot oil.
So you couldn't even buy this. I mean, they can't. They don't make it. You got to refurb what was out there. How many of these suits out there in use today? You figure? You have any idea?
There's a few.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few.
I mean, we're talking like hundreds, or. I mean,
less than hundreds.
Okay, I was going to say.
All original. This is 100% original this time, so this is actually World War II vintage.
Yeah.
To the canvas dress, to the leather belt.
Everything.
Very rare you see it all come together at one time.
This is the
first
first
newer
time.
suits are like neoprene. The replicas like this hanging up over there, or a new helmet. But to have everything actually World War II vintage is extremely rare.
And that's your thing. That's what your business. This is your gear. That's your gear. And your business is Trident, right?
Yep. Trident Surface Supply Diving.
Okay. And you do what exactly?
We're Brass Hat Diver, and we do the shallow water dive helmets, which is coming up next.
Okay. All right. Which is the what is it? A 3 and something? What is it called?
Miller Dunn 3.
Miller Dunn 3. Okay. So you guys going to do that? Same diver? He's going to do this again?
Yeah.
Same suit, or he?
So remember how I said earlier, the size 2 dress, you can see the grommets?
Yes, I see them on the back there.
2. So it tells you this is a size 2. If it's a size 3, you'd have another grommet, or size 1 or size 4.
Right. See, so they're doing this demo and they're explaining to everybody what's going on, and then he jumps in the water and we get our selfie pictures with, the creature from the Black Lagoon, like commercial diver guy. I mean, this is really cool, Lisa. I got to tell you, it's probably even cooler than I thought it would be.
Well, thank you. It surprises a lot of people because, again, back in the day, 7 tenders for one diver, depending on the depth and what kind of air pump he was using, would depend on how deep he could go. And then the shallow water open bottom diving hoods, people just don't get to see that.
Yeah.
It's an unknown piece of history.
Well, it's one thing to see it in the museum, which you have several of these on display, all the helmets at the History of Diving Museum, but to see it in work and what they had to go through just to don this thing, I mean, that's an impressive display just I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it. It's kind of cool to see the gear, in use, I guess.
Well, and the other thing about this Mark V suit or style of suit is that the diver is 100% reliant on their tender.
Right.
When we see the open bottom helmet, there's a safety factor that they can actually lift it off, leave it underwater, and swim up to the surface. So you can do self-rescue. And it's a shallow water helmet. So there was a lot more use for ship's husbandry, for marine biology. It was used by early underwater photographers, as well as Art McKee salvaging the 1733 fleet off the Florida Keys.
Okay, so that's what he was using this sometimes.
Correct.
Wow.
So,
okay.
the Miller Dunn Company was located up in Miami, and now we're going to see the Miller Dunn 3, which was used by Art McKee.
Okay, and the helmet looks like the guy from...
the Little Minions.
Yes, exactly. It looks like a minion. Slightly different color, but very similar head shape. All right, we'll talk about that next. From Jules Undersea Lodge with the History of Diving Museum on the world's first radio show devoted to diving. Stay close.
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio.
Scuba action star Mike Scott is back in a new audiobook, Cayman Cowboys, Reefs Under Pressure. From author Eric Douglas comes the one that started it all. Listen as Mike deals with submarines, kidnapping, betrayal, and more.
He didn't even have fins or a mask to let him see in the water. He was going to be slow and blind. If it weren't for the float, he knew there would be no way he would ever make it to the surface.
Download Cayman Cowboys or Oil and Water, Return to Cayman, Turks and Chaos, and Lionfish at Amazon, booksbyeric.com, and audible.com.
Power, simplicity, reliability. It's what you demand of your dive computer. And Shearwater delivers. Shearwater evolved out of one tech diver's need for a reliable, easy-to-use rebreather dive computer and quickly became the tech market leader. Now recreational divers have taken notice. The Shearwater Peregrine is a simple, full-color, multi-gas dive computer. It's also the most economical Shearwater dive computer released to date. Check it out and the entire line at shearwater.com. Shearwater. Dive computers for demanding divers.
Prepare to rig for dive! Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
Here comes old Greg. He's a scaly manfish.
He's Greg the Dive Master.
What you doing in my waters?
The show is a disaster.
I got something to show you.
He's Greg the Dive Master.
Hi there.
Master. Dive Master. Dive Master. Dive Master.
I'm old Greg. Pleased to meet you.
I'm Nart. Hello, fishies.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. All right, so they've done the, what is it, the M-Done? What is this called? I got Dennis, by the way, from our Just Plain Radio show. What do you think, Dennis?
It's the Miller Dunn helmet.
Miller Dunn helmet. And basically, this is helmet diving with a tether, an air source. And he's just walking around the bottom of Jules Undersea Lodge as we speak. And, so he has the scary helmet part of the Scooby-Doo monster, but not the whole suit. A little bit more freedom. He jumped right in the water and was good to go. It's like, old-time snorkeling or surface-supplied air type of thing, right?
Well, Lisa was explaining the Miller Dunn helmet was used for shallow water, so you didn't have to have the big canvas dry suit and all the weights. And so basically the helmet just sits on your head. It's got about 30 pounds of weight holding it onto your shoulders, but you can actually stick your hand up inside there if you need to. You can take the helmet off underwater.
Yeah, and go to the surface. With the weights in the helmet, they said it's like 70 pounds, though. And the kid just lifted it up and put it on, which, of course, you and I could do. Right?
One in each hand.
Right, easy. But he's down there at the bottom of Jules Undersea Lodge here in Key Largo, walking along the bottom. in this helmet. And Lisa, so this is the kind of stuff they do some of this around the world. Don't they do this over in the Bahamas, like a new version of this type of surface applied helmet type of dive thing, or what?
Yes, there is a different modern style diving hood that can be used for shallow water. They have other ones where it's attached to like a boat diving experience, and basically you're sitting on a harness, but you're able to breathe underwater.
But it doesn't look as cool as this.
It is not.
No, no
cool.
way. No, I think I saw Shaq do it on a Shark Week episode a few years ago. But yeah, I mean, this is really, really something. But so have you done all this stuff yourself too, Lisa?
I have. I've had an opportunity to go out on the reef and test out a Miller Dunn 2 like Art McKee did, salvaging and surveying the bottom. And it actually underwater, while it's 70 pounds on the surface underwater.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be impressive. I'll tell you what.
It literally just floats on your shoulders.
Can you take the weights off and use that as a Halloween costume? That might be easier, just to use the helmet part. You know what I'm
there
saying?
you go. It is. It is.
Because it's still pretty foreboding looking. It has that creepy old vibe, that vintage vibe.
That vintage vibe.
Right. Yeah. I love it. So, and all the people that are watching the demonstration, are those folks that have done this double hose regulator demo already, or who's all here? What do we know?
So this is open to the public, so everybody could come and see the experience, see what it takes to get a helmet diver in the water. Included in the group of spectators is a group from Ransom Everglades High School. They are now alumni and college students. Some of them are doing marine biology studies, but this is all part of their, scuba experience. And what better way to value what we're doing now than learning and experience what they did in the past? It's like driving a muscle car. Right?
Well, true.
And then driving an electric car. You get the extremes of the transportation era.
Well, as I said before, it's one thing to see it in the museum, but then to actually go out and see it in action in the real world, or see a demo like this takes it to another level. I mean, you guys are doing a phenomenal job, but you couldn't do it without what? Nowie's help and a whole a list of volunteers, I assume, or what?
Yes, as the museum, we come up with the concept and the idea. I have the Nowie team that is down here doing the Vintage Dive Day. They've refurbished all these regulators, cylinders, backpacks. They're the ones who put 100% of the equipment to make sure that it's safe. It is vintage, but it's safe. I've got the Triton surface supplied and brass hat divers who are bringing the shallow water and the hard hat equipment, so that again people can see what it's like and learn.
It's just a good time. It's
history.
It's infotainment. I mean, you're learning some stuff about the history of these suits. The pioneers that did this back in the day, but seeing how it relates to what we do today and some of the upgrades that we've achieved over the years, it makes you appreciate some of the stuff, how easy it is to scuba dive today compared to donning one of these big canvas suits and a Mark V helmet and 190 pounds of gear. You think?
Not to mention the safety factor.
Yes, well, there's that. There is definitely that. But yeah, it is. This is really, really something. I mean, Jules Undersea Lodge. I mean,
it's a perfect location for this kind of experience.
Yeah. Have you ever done the thing in there where you actually stay overnight?
I have. I've done the habitat. I've stayed. That's a whole nother history lesson in itself.
Right.
It's fun to just come in and get a pizza delivered while you're underneath in a habitat, but it was used for scientific missions back, in the back in the day.
Yeah. We came down and we did a show from down there several years ago, and I mean, they're not doing much today, though, right?
Well, they still have divers right now. Since Joe DeTore did his 100 days, I'm not sure what other science missions that they've had, but they definitely get people that come in and spend the night or come down for an experience in an afternoon. And what better place to watch sea hunt?
Yes, exactly. And I think they got that on the VCR there in the habitat. Yeah, it is something. I will tell you. You owe it to yourself to check out Jules Undersea Lodge.
Yes.
You can book book a night, just like a hotel. It's a whole thing, and it's quite the experience. But you can just come down, dive the lagoon, go take a look in the window, or maybe come up in the pool. I don't know if they let you do that.
I don't think they let you do that, but that's okay.
But yeah, but you'll have to talk to them at the office, so what you're allowed to do, what you're not allowed to do. But today is special. It's Vintage Dive Days here at Jules Undersea Lodge. Now, the next step is we're actually going to take some of these 2-hose regulators, the Mike Nelson thing. I know I got Dennis, his daughter, from our Just Plain radio show. They're ready to check this off the list. I'm going to check it off the list. The water temp 76. That's enough for me to get in the water for about 5 minutes and get out. But that's all I need, right? Just to check it off the list?
You'll want to do a little bit more than 5 minutes, and you're going to be having fun. Your adrenaline's going to be going.
Right.
You're going to see Sea Hunt in your mind. You're going to see those fight scenes in your mind.
Well, me and Dennis are going to go at it. Okay. I know which side hose to cut, by the way.
Side.
Yeah, right. So don't tell him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I'll recruit his daughter as well on my side. So I'll have an assistant.
She's got the knife, he says.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. They did. They just picked up a knife before they came over here at the dive shop. So I think we're good.
I think
we're going to videotape it and see who lives. Three go in, 2 come out. Is that how it works?
You know, my life.
Don't tell the insurance people, right?
Exactly. Don't tell the insurance.
I'm kidding. Yeah, it's all of. By the way, it's not very deep here. What's the deepest you can get here, Jules? Do you know? It's like 20,
30 feet.
Yeah. It's pretty shallow stuff.
Yeah.
Pretty easy. But a lot of the local dive operators, or even people all throughout Florida, they come down here and they use this sheltered, protected area for training. And actually some people, I saw some dive instructors over off to the side that are doing some skills and things like that. What are you thinking there, Dennis? Is this something you've had on your list for some time to do?
Yeah, I've always wanted to try out the old 2-hose or double hose regulators, because I got my interest in scuba diving watching the old Jacques Cousteau ABC specials on Sundays. So to actually
What about Mike Nelson? He was a little bit before you and me as far as inspiring us, but the generation just before us, I mean, he's like the guy, right? And I've seen him. I've seen the shows. You went back and watched some of them too, right?
Oh, I've got him in my collection, absolutely. As a diver, those are a few of the required viewings that we have to have.
Exactly. And we've seen the covers of Skin Diver magazine back in the day, and they'd have all these vintage pictures of Zale Perry and Mike Nelson.
You got to have Jaws, on that required view.
Yeah, well, there's that. And it's kind of, the viz is kind of down. There could be a shark in there somewhere. Who knows? We'll have that in the back of our mind. As we dive a double hose regulator next, we'll tell you about it. Stay close.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio.
Prepare to rig for dive!
Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
Hi, this is Neil Watson, the Dive God.
And I'm Peter Hughes.
These guys come from legend. They're basically gods.
We've been around the block a time or two with the diving industry.
But I've never heard something as nutty as this.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
God's friggin' gift to humanity.
Now here's a guy I've been putting up with for over 20 years.
Greg, the Dive Master.
You can tell the master I'm done for the day.
Now beat it, loser.
And by the way, Greg, it's Peter Huge.
Whoa.
Okay. Well, you know what? The Dive God was going to join us today, but he didn't make it. I am Greg the Dive Master. I'm at Jules Undersea Lodge. I just came back from diving a double hose regulator for Vintage Dive Day with the History Diving Museum. Folks. And by the way, Scuba Santa was my personal photographer, underwater photographer. I don't know how this happened, but just to fill everybody in, how did you get this Scuba Santa thing going on other than the red suit that you don underwater there?
Well, I've been Santa and Scuba Santa now for over a dozen years. It's more than that, I'm not sure. But I do a lot of diving with adaptive programs. And also ski as Santa Claus, motorcycle rides, trains, and I love to scuba dive. And
so you don't have nothing going on. You just...
Yeah,
it's crazy. I mean, you have obviously been around for a while, and you've been diving, and it sounds like you're paying it forward tenfold, is what I'm getting from how you've been, reacting today and helping out with everybody at the History of Diving Museum. Scuba Santa's a little novelty thing that you do every year for them, I guess.
I do it. I've been doing it for years for the History of Diving Museum. We've also got, for the veteran side of it, we do a monthly visit to the VA in West Palm Beach to the assisted living, but we also go to hospice once a month.
Yeah, and other than, responding to St. Nick and Santa, your name is?
Tim Fernan.
Okay, there you go. So Tim is the guy. He was following us on the dive, and he took some underwater pictures that hopefully we'll get up at ScubaRadio.com, or maybe he'll show up at the museum's website or something. I don't know. Or maybe he'll
all the pictures are going to be available through Lisa.
Yes, through Lisa the History Dive, and it'll show up in my stocking for Christmas, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Have I been a bad or a good little diver with so far?
I'm not sure. Did you win or lose the knife fight down there?
I think I won on the radio. For sure I won. Me and Dennis, had it out underwater. You documented it. We had another person shooting video, so I don't know. I'll doctor it accordingly and make sure that it looks like I won.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yes, there will be blood. But all three came back, just for the record. I don't know where Dennis and Abby went at the moment, but they're decompressing after the dive. They got some really nice facilities there. What do you think here?
Well, you know what's really cool here today? We had the Mark V. We got the Miller Dunn.
Yep.
And I get to videotape that on a double hose regulator from 1960s.
Yes, and that's your own private gear.
Right.
And do you dive that just for events like this, or?
Typically, yes.
Yeah.
I just bring it down
to kind of fit in, right?
Yes.
Yes, I love it. See, that's what a Scuba Santa, you would expect him to do. He's trying to, set the mood, make it a festive occasion. It definitely was. And by the way, there are a lot of folks that Lisa was saying that now he was doing with volunteers. One of them is over here. What's your name?
Victoria.
Victoria, and you were saying you have one of these double hose regs that you're trying to refurb right now. Is that the case?
Yeah, so Terrence actually, when we were packing up for Vintage Dive Day, I saw one in the corner looking real dusty. All the hoses were really corroded.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, can I rebuild this? And he was like, yeah, I'll help you do it. And he was like, and then it's yours. So hopefully next year I'll have my own setup out here.
Sweet. All right. So you got a little pet project that you do on the side. And what do you do in your regular, real job kind of stuff?
So I work for NAUI. I'm the communication specialist marketing.
Ah, there you go. Okay, well, very nice to meet you, and nice diving with you.
Yeah,
Nice we had a good time under there, didn't we?
I saw your knife fight. It was great. I
won.
I won. Angle. It was great. I agree.
I am the winner on the radio every time. That's how it works. Right. And your name is?
Tarrant.
Tarrant?
Yep.
Tarrant and Terrence?
Terrence, that's
yeah,
right.
Really?
They hired me just for that reason, to make sure. When I have to call people, they go, who's this?
Yes. Well, yeah, he had my back in case Dennis tried to take me out. I was going to go to Tarrant, and he was going to.
We had the grouper on our side, too.
Yes, he found that was pretty cool. It was like tucked away in the side, at Jules Undersea Lodge. And how'd you find that? You just happened to glance, or you saw it earlier?
I saw another pair of eyes looking back at me. I was like, that's something a little bigger than the other fish around here. So I got a little closer because he was in the shade. And I saw the stripings and all the different designs on them. I was like, oh, that's a Goliath. Okay. So I saw you behind me. Hey, come check this guy out.
Yes, that's right. That's the kind of dive buddy you want for sure. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
That was a lot of fun. Yeah. Double hose regulator, Mark. Check it off the list. Now here comes Dennis. He's walking over, and in defeat of the knife fight because he lost. Yeah, you lost, man. They all backed me up.
They lost on the radio.
Well, that's all that matters, my friend. Yeah, but that was good. That was a fun little dive, wasn't it?
It was interesting. I've never dove the double hose regulators before, so knocked that one off the bucket list. And now I felt a little bit like Mike Nelson or even Jacques Cousteau.
Yeah, and I actually went without a wetsuit, so I got extra points as well. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know I moved from Minnesota to Florida, but the blood has definitely thinned out since I've come down here.
Well, yeah, the water temp here in Jules Undersea Lodge today, 76, and that was it was fine for about the first, I'd say, 20 minutes, and then I was like, okay, I've seen
Wrap
enough.
it up.
Let's go. But it was fine. I got to do what I wanted to do, which was breathe off the reg. It actually breathed a lot better than I expected it to. When we were talking to Brittany and Serena last week, they're like, "Oh gosh, man, it's rough." I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, it's like when you move around a little bit, it does affect the performance. Like if you're leaning back on your back, it forces more air in, and you have to kind of figure out how it works. But as far as the ease of breathing and that kind of thing, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, maybe mine was a little bit harder. It definitely wasn't as nice as the Aqualung that I'm used to. But
Well, I would agree with that. Yes, the new stuff is definitely better than what they had back in the day. But it
wasn't
performed
uncomfortable.
No, it wasn't. It was a fun little dive. Like I said, you do this as kind of an experience, something to check off the list, right?
Yeah, we had to start somewhere, and so I'm really glad to see that these guys are keeping this old equipment working so that we can see how we started, how Jacques Cousteau came up with that first regulator way back in the 40s.
Yeah, and they gave us a nice little tour through the lagoon here at Jules Undersea Lodge. Have you done this before, Dennis?
I have never been in the lodge here, so this was a first for me to see the habitat, to see Nemo in the habitat. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, you saw Nemo?
I saw Nemo. Didn't you see him in the window?
No, Nemo. Yeah, that's
Yes.
right. Right. Yeah, Nemo was looking back at us from the habitat. That's right. Actually, I didn't. But now that you say that, I remember seeing it last time I was here. That's right. But yeah, we kind of cruised around the lagoon, looked at the underwater habitat, got over by the mangroves, saw a big-ass Goliath grouper. You didn't see that, did you?
I missed the grouper, but the mangroves were really impressive. Seeing all of the roots hanging down into the water and just being able to look up through that was really impressive.
Absolutely. Yeah, what Abby think? Was this a cool experience for her? She's sitting over there kind of, she posted to her social media? I think that's what she's doing.
You know how that's what kids, as soon as they get done with one activity, it's on the phone and tell everybody about it and on to the next thing.
Yes, taking a picture. Suck it, losers. I'm here doing this and you're not. Yeah, we got some great photo ops. We did recreate some kind of underwater knife fight, and of course I won. And we'll try to get that posted at ScubaRadio.com, or it'll show up at the History of Diving Museum's photo page or something. I don't know. We'll get it out there some way.
Somehow, you'll figure it out. It may take a year or two.
Well, it depends if I have anything to do with the video. Yes, it might take a while, but we'll get it there. And we had a good time, and it's just a festive kind of thing to participate in. And once again, we got to thank all the folks from Now. You got to thank the folks here at Jules Undersea Lodge. They make it very easy. You can come here year-round, by the way, whether they're doing vintage dive days or not, and you really ought to come check the place out, check out the habitat. You can stay overnight and do the hotel thing if you want, or just go. I think you can go in there for a few hours and actually order a pizza, like Lisa was saying. But it's all up there at the Jules Undersea Lodge website. Check that out. And of course, check out divingmuseum.org for the History of Diving Museum, and schedule your visit there today, or maybe your next Vintage Dive Day event, which Lisa and the gang will be doing. But look, that's hour one of the show. We got hour two. We're going to head back to the studio, regroup, and have another hour for you of fun and festivities on the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
On the boat or down below, if you want to stay in the know. If you be pressurized there, you'll want to be there on Scuba Radio. Let's go!
Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio is a production of Overboard Entertainment Incorporated.
Scuba Radio.
This seems the logical place for fish to congregate.
Remember, you can listen live or to archives of past editions of Scuba Radio worldwide over the internet at ScubaRadio.com.
So we're in international waters? Indeed so.
Tell a friend and buddy up with your radio every week for Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Well, it's all very nice here, but we should be going. I miss me wife and me oxygen.
Yes, we all miss our loved ones and gases. Let's go.
The opinions you just heard on Scuba Radio are those of the hosts, callers, and guests.
Okay, what I just heard? Blah, 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 blah.
They are not necessarily those of any station or network, its management, or advertisers.
Come on, quit yanking me.
Scuba diving does involve risk and should never be conducted without proper instruction and training.
Oh, what's the worst thing that could happen?
I could die.
Have any questions or comments? Feel free to do so via the web at ScubaRadio.com.
Don't be alarmed. we're just preparing your listening device for Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving. We do this, of course, by filling your radio with water. Don't worry, we're professionals. Thanks to me, you won't even get wet. You see, I've crammed every appendage of my body into the cracks and crevices of your radio, ensuring an airtight seal. By the way, don't touch your on-off knob. That's a very sensitive area. Anyway, I should remind you, we believe in the buddy system just like diving, so don't listen alone. Call your buddy and tell them that Scuba Radio is about to begin.
We're gonna start a new life under the sea.
So, am I gonna drown?
Of course not. Just stay calm and let the gentle currents relax your every muscle.
Under the sea, under the sea.
Did it just get warmer?
There'll be no accusations, just friendly crustaceans under the sea.
Where the hell are the sharks?
And now, here's your dive guide for Scuba Radio, Greg the Dive Master.
And welcome to Hour 2 of the world's first radio show devoted to diving, otherwise known as the Douche. The Deuce. Hour 2 of the world's first radio show devoted to
Scuba
diving.
Radio. The Douche.
Deuce. Okay, so CJ obviously back here in the studio with me after spending hour 1 there at Jules Undersea Lodge in Key Largo. We had a great time diving the vintage dive gear. It was quite an event, but we're a few days later. We had to tape last Sunday, and we wanted to get the first hour done that way. And then I figured we'd just come back to the studio, pick it up live, and here we are.
I'm amazed that the reel-to-reel that you used to record it
Yeah.
still functions after being wet.
Well,
Doesn't short out.
It's vintage. And when you use vintage stuff like that, I mean,
You keep the heads clean, though, right?
you keep the heads clean. You just maintain it, and okay, old is not the word. Vintage
Check
is the
the
word.
capstan.
And they just don't make them like that anymore. So they hold up if you take care of them. So there you go. A lot of people call CJ vintage,
Oh, yeah.
and then they just call me old.
Classic.
Old Greg.
He's old Greg.
So yeah, it was a great time, and we're gonna do some more things with the history of the History of Diving Museum, like Vintage Dive Days and some other events they have going on in a few months, and we'll keep you abreast of those. But before we continue on and get an update on what's happening with the Beneath the Sea Dive Show here in a couple weeks, we got a little preview of a brand new attraction at the show that we're going to cover here in just a bit. I got to backtrack a little bit. I've been holding out on the Scuba Radio Scuba Squad and everybody who listens to Scuba Radio for a couple weeks now, and I think I'm finally ready to come clean on what happened a couple weeks ago.
Uh-oh, here we go.
It's taken some time for me to process.
Spill the beans.
What happened on our last Scuba Radio's scuba cruise. If you go back, we were in Saba, we were in St. Kitts. We had a great week of diving.
Great week of diving.
Leading up to it, I was a little concerned that I was going to be sharing a cabin with Vinny Two Tanks. And,
As you should be.
And I did. And it was as challenging as I expected it to be, maybe even more so in certain ways. But I got through it and survived. However, there were some things that happened on the boat that I think I'm finally ready to speak about publicly. Because Vinny is a unique individual. If you've listened to Scuba Radio over the last, few years that he's been with us.
That's very diplomatic, right?
He is definitely one of the most unique characters we've come across in the 28 years of doing this show. And he has a unique way of handling himself. And I use those words very specifically. But
socially unacceptable.
Maybe in certain
borderline
scenarios,
disgusting.
He can be a bit much. But I'll tell you what, on Scuba Radio, he is what we consider radio gold. Now, personally, when you have to deal with him on a daily basis, like on a liveaboard dive boat, it can get to be a bit much. But I did get through the week. But the one thing that Vinny did that kind of threw me off a little bit, and I tolerated it as much as I could, is he was talking to himself. So I'm in my bunk. I'm taking my afternoon nap, right? Then he would come in the door, And he wouldn't necessarily know I was up in the top bunk snoozing or maybe half asleep. And he would come in and he would start talking to himself. Like full-on conversation. Not just a conversation, but literally an argument. Like, gosh, you shut up. I won't do that. I mean, I'm like, and I'm thinking to myself, he wakes me up and I'm like, what the hell is going on? And he's having a full-blown conversation. Now I kind of tuned it out. I'm pretty good at that kind of stuff. But this happened for the whole week, and I was really getting a bit concerned about, this was a little above and beyond just someone, mumbling to themselves. This was like he's talking to somebody. There's
like an imaginary friend?
Yeah. And, so finally at the end of the week, I did confront Vinny. I said, Vinny, what the hell are you doing, man? I mean, you woke me up several times this week. Okay, I can look past it. Not that big a deal, but what the hell is going on? Why are you talking to yourself? Why are you arguing with yourself like this? He goes, what are you talking about? I'm sorry. I don't know what you mean, Greg. I pushed him on it, and he finally admitted that there was something going on. And I thought, oh, gosh, Vinny's finally admitted to having a psychological breakdown or something. No, he went on to say that it was his quote-unquote friend. I mean, I said, what do you mean friend? Like dive buddy? He's like, well, I've had this, friend with me pretty much my whole life. And he drives me crazy. He makes me do things I probably shouldn't. I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? And he goes, he's like my conscience, but he's constantly in my head. He's talking to me, and he actually exists. And I'm like, oh my gosh, he's having I think Vinny Two Tanks is having a break
from reality.
Yeah.
Well, that probably happened a long time ago.
Well, it was until the last day of the liveaboard. And I'll tell you, I saw something. I told you before going on this trip that I was going to be on the lookout for UFOs, aliens, because last time I was in Saba, I saw an underwater alien swoop through the wake of the liveaboard, right? So I was looking for him all week. I didn't see any spaceships, anything underwater, UFOs, none of that. But on the last day of the trip, that night, Friday night, after we went out to dinner with the crew and had fun, we came back, we're hanging out on the boat, and I swear I saw something run in and out of our cabin.
I don't believe you.
And I was like, what the hell was that? Vinny walks in. He goes, you see him? You see him? And he starts yelling.
I don't believe you.
And I was like, I didn't know what I had seen. I kind of blew it off because I was like, what the heck? Nah. And, it's like your fantasy and reality collide. And I didn't know how to process it. That's why it took me 2 weeks to figure out what I was even going to say about this on the air. So I've been sitting on this. I wanted to get it out there. And lo and behold, I get a voicemail. I got a voicemail yesterday before the show as I was thinking about this. And I don't know, I'll just play you this first voicemail. And
now who is this supposed to be?
Well, you tell me.
Yo, Greg the Dive Master. Diver boy.
Yeah.
I hope this is the right number. This is going to sound a little fakakta, a little strange, but allow me to explain. You and I, we have a mutual friend, Vincent.
Right.
You know him as Vinny Two Tanks on the show.
Right.
How shall I put this? The pony bottle is not a backup. It's for me. I'm what you call his imaginary friend.
Oh, no.
Except I ain't imaginary. You might have overheard him talking to himself.
Right.
He's talking to me. Me and Vinny go way back. We're paisans.
Uh-oh.
Capiche?
Yeah.
So cut him a little slack.
Okay.
He's crazy.
Yeah.
But he ain't that crazy.
You know?
He don't belong in no mental facility.
You sure?
He's talking to me. Just so we understand each other. If you leave him alone, we ain't gonna have no problem.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Power, simplicity, reliability. It's what you demand of your dive computer, and Shearwater delivers. Shearwater evolved out of one tech diver's need for a reliable, easy-to-use rebreather dive computer and quickly became the tech market leader. Now recreational divers have taken notice. The Shearwater Taric is the best, most intuitive, and reliable wristwatch-sized dive computer on the market. Check it out in the entire line at shearwater.com. Shearwater, dive computers for demanding divers.
How, when, and where it's made has never been more important than now. Just ask all those divers and dive shops that struggled to get products and parts during the pandemic. One relatively new gear manufacturer, however, managed quite well. Nex is one of the few, if not only, dive gear manufacturers to bring regulator and design assembly back to the USA. No shortages during the pandemic for their customers and dealers. And get this, Nex was a Tester's Choice winner in Scuba Lab for 2022 and a Best Buy in 2023. Each Nex regulator system is made to order, cutting down on overhead and allowing you to get exactly what you need for the kind of diving you prefer. This will be the last regulator you'll ever need, since the modular design can easily be modified as your diving skills and preferences evolve over time. Are you ready to make your next dive your best dive? Then go to nextdive.com. That's nexdive.com. Nex Underwater Products. nextdive.com.
Celebrate diving to make a difference at the 3rd Annual iCare Trash Derby, May 1st through 4th. Sponsored by iCare and the National Marine Sanctuary Foundation. The Trash Derby culminates Sunday, May 4th from noon till 6 p.m. at Founders Park in Isla Mirada. You could win big prizes and enjoy food, live music, and meet the crew from Scuba Radio. Join us to celebrate Florida Keys divers' efforts to clean our seas. Details at iCareTrashDerby.com. Brought to you by the Monroe County Tourist Development Council.
Prepare to rig for dive! Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
Lay it on me. Tell me what you can do.
Okay. I can communicate with every living creature living in our vast oceans.
Okay. Talks to fish. Got it.
Also,
I'm going to stop you right there because I know your powers. It's talks to fish. The rest of the page is blank.
I have sonar.
Yeah, for talking to fish.
I have super hearing.
So you can listen to fish?
I can breathe underwater.
Because that's where the fish you talk to are?
Night vision.
So you can find the fish if you ever want a nighttime chinwag.
I can do a lot more than just talk to fish, okay? I can transport the entire Justice League by manipulating the waves of the ocean.
Oh, wow. You know what else can transport people on the ocean? A boat.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. All right, CJ and Bubble Boy are both in the studio with me now. And, I came clean about what happened on the liveaboard in Saba and St. Kitts.
So Vinny talks to himself.
He talks to himself, but, I don't know if he talks to himself or not. I'm a little concerned, and I'm questioning my sanity. I mean, this Mini Vinny.
You're hallucinating, Greg.
I don't know. You heard the voicemail from Mini. I mean, I just called him Mini Vinny. I mean, this is kind of a strange thing, and I got that voicemail, and lo and behold, there's another voicemail on here now. Let's listen to this together.
Greg.
Yeah?
Grego.
Okay.
It's me again,
Right.
Vinny's little friend.
Mm-hmm.
I just want you to know that when Vinny might change his clothes in public,
Uh-huh.
that's kind of my fault.
Really?
I can talk him into some weird shit.
Okay.
It's funny for me.
All right.
It's kind of my hobby.
Yeah.
I gotta do something to amuse myself, right?
Yeah.
No harm, no foul.
No, there's a lot of harm.
I'll tell him, skin to win, Vinny.
Oh, jeez.
Hang wang, Vinny boy.
That's not appropriate. What do you
Whip it out.
Oh, come on.
Anyway, play Stairway to Heaven.
No.
Would it kill you to get the let out?
No,
We never talked.
Okay. I don't know what that sounds pretty legit. No, CJ, what do you think?
Sounds like, yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't engage.
I wouldn't want to cross Mini Vinny, but now Vinny Two Tanks evidently has an excuse
You might get whacked.
for all his socially, inappropriate things he's been doing.
Or
in
that
public.
could be Vinny calling.
You think? That doesn't sound like Vinny. It sounds like this guy is connected or something. There's actually one more. There's one more voicemail.
Yo, Scuba Boy.
Yeah?
Listen, I just want to make sure you all leave my friend Vinny alone on this next trip to the Cayman Islands.
Yeah?
Any, irregular behavior you may notice is on me.
Okay.
100% on me.
Oh,
So
interesting.
consider this a favor. A free pass for our friend.
Yeah?
Let me put it in plain English. He's a made guy.
Oh.
And let me ask you something.
Okay.
You don't take requests?
No.
You ain't played one of my songs.
We're a talk show.
And I asked nice.
Right?
What, do you think you're better than me? You think you're too good for me?
No.
My friend, I will make you disappear.
What?
So be a good guy. And maybe play some Sinatra.
No.
And all is forgiven. I don't know you. You don't know me. Burn this tape.
Wow. That's a
I don't think that was
sound like a
supposed to
threat.
be aired.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you heard it along with me. I mean, I'm a little concerned now. I mean,
I think we've talked about this before. You need to screen these. These are recordings, so you can listen to them off air.
I don't have
you
time
just
for
love
that.
playing them without
I don't
hearing
have time
it.
for that.
You
I
have
mean,
time. You have
I'm a bit-
24 hours every day.
No,
Greg doesn't have time for show prep. How long have you been doing this?
Exactly. Dennis
Lazy.
knows.
Lazy.
He does the airplane show with me. He knows I have no time for this. I got to blow
I know
it
your
out.
schedule. You get up late, make a smoothie, come do the show.
Yeah. Well, the only good thing about Mini Vinny is I did get a glimpse of him on the last day of the liveaboard. He's about the size of a football. I mean, I can't imagine he could do anything to hurt us. You know, he kind of made
still
a
have
threat.
a gun.
Oh, well, okay. Now you tell me. Jeez.
Hey, Greg.
Yes, Jerry the diver guy.
You talk about the conversations you had in the cabin with him. You should hear the conversations he has while we're on commercial breaks and before we start the show.
Yeah. So has Mini Vinny been talking to himself, or I mean, have him and Vinny been?
I remember that, Jerry. He couldn't find some tool he was looking for.
Right.
And he was talking to somebody about where the hell did you put it?
Well, see,
And there was a
you
bunch
guys
more
didn't tell me.
explicits.
Why didn't you tell me this?
Wait, I'm the
You
tool.
need to cut the studio feed on and listen in.
Oh hell no.
You're missing all the good stuff.
No, I'm not. I don't think that's good stuff. This is
Oh,
disturbing
yeah.
stuff, is what it
It's
sounds like to
great.
me.
It's
Yeah.
radio
Excuse me.
gold.
Casey, the tobacco nut. What?
I got 2 points here.
Okay.
Obviously, we
poke your eye
misunderstood
out.
why he's known as Two Tanks.
Yeah.
And
Now we know, yeah.
secondly, a little Sinatra and a rejoinder wouldn't kill you.
Okay. Well, if we can come up with some scuba connection, I mean, I'd rather not be whacked. So maybe I need to succumb to Mini Vinny's demand. We'll see. We got Pete from Scuba Board with us, and he came on, heard all this. You ever heard of a dive buddy like this get out of hand in this sense, Pete, or what do you think?
No.
Okay, all right. So, do you have any professional opinion of this psychological break that we
I'm not
may
a
have?
psychiatrist or a psychologist.
Yeah,
it makes me laugh.
Does it?
Cave
Of
madness.
course.
You're easily amused.
Of course,
then,
I will
obviously.
have to say, Casey,
Uh-huh.
when you say you have 2 good points, if you comb your hair right, no one will see them.
Oh, well, look at that.
Or a
Oh,
hat.
look
The
at
hat
that.
helps.
All right.
I figured he better not poke his eye out.
He is. He's wearing a green hat for St. Patty's Day. And,
Right.
I mean, Mini Vinny's kind of like a leprechaun looking. I better be
There
careful
you
what I
go.
say. He's going to come after me with a dull
We're
I think
bat.
he's
Vinny
Italian, not
today.
Irish.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. But yeah, it was. I don't know. That
Everybody's
was
Irish on St. Patty's Day.
okay. So we got that to look forward to. But I don't know. Should I be concerned? You think about Vinny's? Actually, it kind of makes him look a little bit more normal.
He doesn't
At least
know where
he's
you
not-
live, does he?
He at least he's not talking to
He
himself.
doesn't know where he lives.
I mean, it actually, Mini Vinny does exist.
Maybe you should be mini concerned.
Okay, well, that was really terrible. But
Sorry.
It probably wouldn't hurt you to leave a shot of whiskey out for him, just a little shot.
yeah, okay. Well, we could possibly do that.
Or just leave him a full shot and not worry about him. Let him just pass out.
Get
Find him in the morning.
Well,
Yeah.
that could be an approach. But yeah, Vinny is in the Cayman Islands with the Aqua Gypsy and a few other folks.
You'll see him on
doing
all
some-
your security cams first. So at
What,
least
Mini
you got
Vinny?
that.
I don't know if he's tall enough to trigger anything.
Oh, yeah.
He might slip right under the radar or whatever triggers the cameras. That's a
Maybe
little
that's
concerning.
Meanie Veenie haunting my house.
I mean, he went a whole week, and I didn't see him on the liveaboard.
You just heard him.
I just heard Vinny talking to him. I didn't really hear him. And then all of a sudden, I see this little green streak. That's actually what I did.
Corned
hear.
beef and cabbage.
I thought it was Vinny, but it wasn't. It was Mini Vinny.
Right.
All right, more coming up. Stay close.
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio.
Come as a guest, leave as a friend. It's a philosophy that comes from the top down at Explorer Ventures liveaboards. It doesn't matter if you're traveling solo, with a buddy, or group. Explorer Ventures does the liveaboard dive experience right. For proof, no, Explorer Ventures has one of the best repeat customer stats in the dive industry. They're also the official liveaboard company of Scuba Radio. You've likely heard us talk about Explorer Ventures Scuba Radio scuba cruise trips many times, and we invite you to join us on the next one. However, whether we're on board with you or not, I'll bet an Explorer Ventures liveaboard trip will be one of the best dive experiences you've ever had. It just doesn't get any better. Saba St. Kitts, Turks and Caicos, the Galapagos, Maldives, Indonesia, humpback whales, and the Silver Banks, new destinations and itineraries are being added all the time. Call one of their talented travel consultants to find the Explorer Ventures liveaboard experience that's just right for you. 1-800-322-3577. That's 1-800-322-3577. Or visit explorerventures.com. That's explorerventures.com.
Prepare to rig for dive! Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
Get up. We're going.
Where?
Maldives.
The Maldives? I don't even know where that is.
Indian Ocean. It's beautiful.
The natives there, are they friendly?
You don't need to worry about the natives, Tiny. Natives need to worry about you. Come on. We got a plane to catch.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. Maldives is going to be on the next Scuba Radio scuba cruise, August 3rd through the 13th. I'm going to be on board. Mermaid Kristen's going. Vinny Two Tanks, even Tutu Tom talking about going. I do know.
Now I definitely don't want to go.
Well, no, here's the thing. I don't know how this happened on the Saba trip, how many Vinny got on board without, Vinny getting charged a surcharge. I don't know if he just packed them in his backpack or something. And so I don't know what's going to happen in the Maldives. If this mini Vinny guy is tagging along Vinny Two Tanks, it could create an international incident. I mean, I think we just got away with it on this last one, but now I've come clean. I've shared this information with the world. Take it for what it's worth, which probably isn't very much.
No.
But anywho, I think we're going to get back on track a little bit. We have CJ and Bubble Boy in the studio, Scuba Radio, Scuba Squad connected via the web, made up of Jerry the Diver Guy. We got Casey the Tobacco Nut, even Captain Dennis from Just Plain Radio with us today, Pete from Scuba Board, and a very special guest, Chris Drew, is with us right now. Chris, welcome to Scuba Radio. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. Hello, hello, hello.
Yes.
There's no place I'd rather be than right here, except maybe diving.
Well, okay. Hey, he's one of the best brown nosers I've heard since Mini Vinny.
Thanks.
Yeah, but regardless, we welcome you with open arms. Scuba.tech, right? Is that the website that you guys do?
That's us. We decided to make the website the company name, and it's what we do.
Okay. And you guys are going to be featured prominently at Beneath the Sea, the big dive show here in a couple weeks in Sea Caucus, New Jersey. And you guys are doing what exactly? Just share it with the world right now.
Well, hello, world. Good to see you all. So at Beneath the Sea, we're going to be helping run the Marine Careers Program, where we're going to take a bunch of students, mostly high schoolers, some college, some middle school, and we're going to help show them different paths in marine careers. We've got engineering, research, scientific diving, data science, robotics. And specifically this year at Beneath the Sea, we're setting up a dive tank. It'll be about 14 feet in diameter, 4 feet deep. It'll have an obstacle course. It'll have some artifacts to pick up with the grabber arm, move around through the obstacle course, place in the target zone. It's going to be a time trial. There's going to be a leaderboard, just like Top Gear. And the whole point is to have all these interested students learn about 3D survey, learn about scuba diving, learn about some data science, scientific diving, and of course, this year, learn about ROVs. So
I love it.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah. Now, usually this happens on, it's happening on Friday of Beneath the Sea. You can check it out, beneaththesea.us, I believe is the website. But the Big Dive Show on Friday, they have this career day for all the kids in the local area. And then we have our exhibits open on Saturday and Sunday. So on Saturday and Sunday, this pool or this tank that you guys have set up with these ROVs are going to be set up through the whole show that people can participate in, whether they're looking for marine sciences or career choices or just wanting to go play and see something pretty cool and different at the dive show this year. Is that right?
That's exactly right. This Friday at Beneath the Sea, the first day is reserved entirely for the Marine Career students, which, by the way, if you're a student and you're listening, those registrations are open until this Monday, the 17th. So Fridays for the students, Saturday and Sunday, we open to the public. If you're interested in trying the tank out, come to Beneath the Sea. It's going to be a great time.
I love it. Tank out.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. And and is there any big prize or something with the person who does accomplishes the skill, or is it timed, or what exactly there, Drew?
There are some good prizes. We have some prizes that are kind of like Marine Critter plushies. We got some prizes that are electronics. We might even be offering a prize as some ROV instruction. So we're going to have some prizes for those who get the best time. Yeah.
I love it. And what do you guys do there at Scuba Tech around the rest of the year? I mean, what are you guys doing there exactly, Chris?
Well, I guess I'd say that our work, our passion, because we are a group of friends that got more and more serious until we turned into a company. We are working on trying to increase community stewardship in the tri-state area. It's New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, with getting more students in the water diving. We're trying to promote oceanography, marine biology. We do field studies, we do coursework. And then our biggest component is we do research and development, open source. So we're investigating new ways to survey shipwrecks, survey marine biomes, both in 3D and 4D, and trying to release that to the public as open source. So in plain English, we're trying to get rid of all gatekeeping and hurdles for interested and aspiring marine researchers.
Well, it sounds like a quite noble work. What do you think about this, Pete? I mean, have you ever heard of this program up there in the Northeast?
But it really interests me. I've been on a couple of ship sinkings. Always fun to watch. Always fun to watch and prepare.
Yeah.
And
was that by choice, or you just happened to be unlucky that day? What?
I've never been on a boat that actually sank. I watched them from afar as they went down like they were supposed to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I agree with them. We need to take down more of the gates. That's what Scuba Board's all about, is, disseminating information to everybody as much as we can, because everyone wins when all the divers know what to do, how to do it. And this type of thing, I applaud you, Chris. I think it's great.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Pete. Thank you.
Yeah. And this is a whole new thing. Or have you guys been doing this for a while with the tank and everything, or what exactly there, Chris?
The tank is, this is the first year we're doing the tank in the public. Previous years, we'd always do field studies on the shoreline. At Beneath the Sea, we'd have static displays, and we'd do events involving the robots and the scuba gear, but not underwater. But we're taking it up a notch.
Yeah.
Now we have the right permits and equipment to start doing tanks inside of school gymnasiums, and in this case, Beneath the Sea.
Chris,
you're
taking it down a notch.
Oh,
up would be flying. Down is diving.
I see your pun. Okay, fine. We're taking it down a few notches.
Yeah, he's the master of the puns, or the
Punisher.
Yeah, exactly.
We're getting saturated with our work.
Yeah, I actually
Let's just say he's rather a punny guy.
Yeah. Well, you know what we got to do is get Vinny 2 tanks up there and have him throw Mini Vinny in the tank, and whoever catches him wins.
Bad idea.
Yeah, why? Why would that be?
Many reasons I can't even start.
Yeah. But I mean, it's like a real life video game though, but with more tangible effects for
It
the
is.
kids, right?
It is. And one thing I want to emphasize when we teach this curriculum to divers interested in learning robotics and students interested in learning robotics is the ROVs augment the dive teams. The ROVs do not replace divers. They increase the safety. And if anything, they help us get more divers in the water. So we're teaching a lot of the robotics to these students, and we're emphasizing that, hey, this is cool and it's a great accessibility tool. And it's really fun to nerd out with Arduinos and Raspberry Pis. But you can also get in the water with these units.
Right.
So we're trying to use ROVs to even bring more divers into research.
Well, when I look up at the video screen of Jerry, the diver guy, Casey, the tobacco nut, and I think, like, would I rather have them as my dive buddy or some ROV with the AI brain? I think the answer is pretty clear there, Chris. You hear what I'm saying? Yeah. See, Jay,
You
calling
can't.
Mini Vinny.
You get no slack from a ROV, but you do us.
That's
All right,
not true.
For the dummies like me, ROV is remote operated vehicle or?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll go
I
with
probably
that.
should have led with that. Yeah, remotely operated submersible vehicle.
No,
Okay.
it's roll over Vinny.
Okay.
Jerry,
I've
stop
been the safety diver on a couple of these courses down in the Keys.
Yeah.
And when you get people who haven't driven ROVs on the ROVs, I always get hit.
Huh.
It's like
You sure that's not deliberate?
divers are like a magnet.
Yeah,
Nah, it's not all the divers.
I don't
down
know.
there,
If you would have pulled out one of your puns, that would have been all
Well,
the
there you go.
motivation they need there, Pete. You hear what I mean?
the
Just
plot.
leave them in a cloud of punami, Pete.
All right, there it is. There it is. We had to get in at least one of those, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we got more coming up on the world's first radio show devoted. What was that? What you had? What'd you have for lunch? There?
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Prepare to rig for dive!
Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio,
Scuba Radio.
the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
Hi, my name is Iggy, and I am freedom-loving travel tourist entertainer or tour guide. Yes, we are in Norway. You are listening to Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving. Now here is someone I consider a true Norwegian Viking. Greg, the Dive Master.
Yes, that is me, and this is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. CJ and Bubble Boy in the studio with me, Scuba Radio, Scuba Squad, connected via the web, Jared the Diver Guy, Casey the Tobacco Nut. We got Captain Dennis from our Just Plain Radio show, who's hanging with me at the Vintage Dive Days there in Key Largo last Sunday. Pete from Scuba Board, and of course we have Chris from Scuba.tech, who's going to be doing his thing there at the Beneath the Sea Dive Show, which, by the way, the dates of that are March 28th through the 30th at the Expo Center in Secaucus, New Jersey, the Meadowlands Exposition Center. We're usually there. Unfortunately, this year I have a conflict, and I have not been able to work it out to clear out my schedule. So it looks like I'm not going to be able to attend this year for the first time, and God knows how many. But I will be there in spirit, and looking forward to hearing how Chris and his gang with the ROVs go with the tank in the middle of the show. That sounds like a pretty cool little attraction they'll have at the event. If you want details, beneaththesea.us is the website. Get your tickets. Learn about the Beneath the Sea Dive Show. It's been going on for years and years and years, and it's always a fun time for sure, especially for folks that have, are drawn to the underwater world. Now Pete from Scuba Board is with us, and there's a chance that Pete and I are going to sync up this week at Jenny Springs if we can work it out in the schedules.
I look forward to it.
Yeah, we're going to try to do that for the first time. I got a little project. I got this next coming week is going to be nuts. I don't even know how it's going to play out. I'm supposed to do some flight training with Captain Dennis. I'm going to do some diving, possibly with Pete from Scuba Board. I mean, there's some other stuff going on this week. It's it's getting hot and heavy.
I have an exciting life. I'm busy.
Suck it, losers.
Suck it up and do it.
That's what you say.
You're going to have an awesome week. Let's reframe this.
I just did.
Yeah, but you were acting like it's a
what
burden.
Oh,
You're going to have an awesome week, man. Look forward to it. Embrace it.
I am. I just don't know which direction it's going to go.
Call me Monday morning.
Go to the Maldives. Oh no, I'm in Bora Bora. Oh,
yeah.
no, Fiji.
Somebody's jelly.
Don't say that word as a middle-aged
somebody.
man.
What's wrong with somebody?
Call me Monday morning. I will psych you up for the week.
Okay. You're going to be my motivation?
Yeah.
I honestly, I thought I was just going to call Mini Vinny and use negative reinforcement like Vinny does.
He's not.
You'll get mini-baited.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. Have you ever heard of such a thing, Chris? We have one of the folks on our show has like some kind of imaginary friend, so we thought, and we just found out it, evidently he really exists, which is troubling.
I'll put it this way: I'm learning a lot today.
Yes,
good to be here. Good to be here.
It's,
Greg,
things that
there's a first time for everything,
and you should block it out immediately.
What show is he on?
When you sign off? Yeah.
Today's his first time and his last time.
Okay, Casey the Tobacco Nut. What say you?
I have a question now. You saw him on the tail end of this trip, and it's St. Patrick's.
Right.
Could he be a chick journey?
Oh, yeah, like a Bahamian leprechaun type of thing.
Was
he running up a coconut tree?
Well, no, it was on the boat. He was running around. He ran in and out of the cabin. I'm like, oh my God, did I just see what I think I saw? I wasn't sure.
Were you huffing glue?
No, but I might have had.
Were you near the engine room huffing gasoline fumes
I
or
had
diesel fumes?
I did have a rum and maybe another one or two. So
wow,
that's why.
Lightweight. You have 2 rums and you're hallucinating.
Well, I wasn't. You heard the voicemails. I mean, I didn't make that up. That wasn't imaginary. Somebody's claiming
to make voicemails.
Well,
those can't be faked.
No,
those can't be faked. No, not at all.
I call BS.
I know. It sounded pretty
Greg,
legit
I
to
have
me.
to say, we've heard your radio shows.
Yeah,
you are often delusional.
I don't know what he's talking about.
I do.
Do you?
Yeah, you think you're a genius.
I'll second that.
All right.
How many times has he called himself a genius on this show?
Well, look, you guys are giving me crap, and you're the one following me down this rabbit hole of nonsense.
I have no choice.
Okay.
You're running the board.
All
I can't push any buttons here.
All right, if you say so. You can leave
You
any
are
time.
our dive master.
Yeah. Okay.
You guide us.
All right. Well, I don't know what that says about you losers.
Great the dive master.
Independent diver. Thank you very much.
Welcome to the Scuba Radio cult, and that I've evidently
Is that a cult of
influenced.
personality?
Maybe it is. I don't know, but the Psycho Magnet was thrown out several times.
Yeah,
on the
well, for
liveaboard
sure you are.
Last time, yeah. So like, where are all these people?
The
come
great
from?
ones are.
Yeah. Okay.
The great ones are psycho magnets.
Yes, indeedy. All right.
Neil,
it a
the
badge of
dive
honor.
god, could answer this.
Yeah, maybe so.
Just don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah. But I don't know, Dennis. What do you think? You
Or
just
the lemonade.
You just want to join the party today after our little fun time there at Jules Undersea Lodge, or what are you thinking, Dennis?
Yeah, I figured I should check in and see what was going on.
Yeah.
We had a good time down there with the double hose regulators. You and I got in a fight.
Yes, which I won clearly
on the radio for the record.
Right.
They're both here. So was there any real losers?
Well,
I guess I cut the wrong hose. I cut the right side instead of the left side.
Yes,
dude.
What?
Typical rookie mistake.
Yeah. Well, it was. It was.
Are they those big like vacuum cleaner looking hoses?
Yeah, big old black rubber thingies. Yeah, big old black mamba hose.
Or beginning rebreather hoses. It looks the same.
Yes, it looks like
they
those
are not
too.
the same. Okay, don't put one on my rebreather, please.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Where do they
and
make?
Don't cut my rebreather.
Well, one of the people I was talking to, Pete, was talking about rebuilding one of these double hose regulators.
I've rebuilt them.
You've done that?
I have. It's
Yeah.
not that
I've
hard.
rebuilt them.
They've got to be
easy.
serviced just like any other piece of dive gear.
Yeah.
You've got baffles and.
Was it hard to find the parts for those things, or are they pretty basic?
Some depends on
Only
the
when
brand.
only when I dropped them on the floor.
Yeah. So you've done the double hose regulator thing before?
Yeah, I've probably rebuilt a half dozen or so of them.
Yeah.
Maybe 8.
That's almost 6.
What? What? Get out. And what about the no, get out of the studio. I mean,
Oh, okay.
leave.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, what about the Mark V helmet thing that they did a demo? Have you ever done that, Pete?
I have dove the Mark V helmet. I've
Yeah.
dove older helmets.
Yeah.
I don't like them because you can hear the air rush. I dive because I like the quiet. God, those things are noisy. They're just noisy.
But they look cool. You look like you're walking right off the set of Scooby-Doo.
I don't
Chris,
dive to
did
look
you do
cool.
that? He's raising his hand
I
like,
did.
Really? Okay.
I'm still new enough that I'm going to pretend to be polite. Yeah, I got to dive the Mark V at formerly Dutch Springs, now Lake Hydra.
Yeah.
I think it was the Northeast Dive Equipment Group brought a whole trailer of Mark V systems and Superlight systems.
Cool.
And the one thing I remember, the Mark V, it was the coolest I've ever felt in life, and I couldn't even hear myself think it was so loud.
Yeah.
But boy, did I feel cool.
I
walking
like
around
that.
thing.
How do you work when you can't hear yourself think? Okay, I mean, I just don't get that.
And it doesn't matter what you're thinking. It's how you look. And that's
This is
you know,
true.
the only thing I told the guy who was doing the demo there, Jules, I said, man, take down a couple neon green glow sticks and set them in your helmet, and you will look just like the monster from Scooby-Doo, and you'll freak out everybody. And he's like, yeah, whatever, Greg, you're an idiot. Which is the typical response I get from pretty much everybody who is part of this show.
Mostly us.
Yeah.
Well, Christopher's already trying
We
to
agree.
figure out how
Yeah.
to rig up an
Okay.
Arduino and a bunch
All
of
right,
LED
whatever.
lights.
I get the point.
Challenge accepted.
All right. We're going to wrap it up for this week, however. And till next time, remember, it's always better. Where, gang? Come on.
Down where it's wetter.
Safe diving, everyone.
Good stuff. Y'all love Scuba Radio. On the boat or down below, if you want to stay in the know. If you be pressurized there, you'll want to be there on Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio is a production of Overboard Entertainment Incorporated.
Scuba Radio.
This seems the logical place for fish to congregate.
Remember, you can listen live or to archives of past editions of Scuba Radio worldwide over the internet at ScubaRadio.com.
So we're in international waters? Indeed so.
Tell a friend and buddy up with your radio every week for Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Well, it's all very nice here, but we should be going. I miss me wife and me oxygen.
Yes, we all miss our loved ones and gases. Let's go.
The opinions you just heard on Scuba Radio are those of the hosts, callers, and guests.
Okay, what I just heard? Blah, 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 blah.
They are not necessarily those of any station or network, its management, or advertisers.
Come on, quit yanking me.
Scuba diving does involve risk and should never be conducted without proper instruction and training.
Oh, what's the worst thing that could happen?
I could die.
Have any questions or comments? Feel free to do so via the web at ScubaRadio.com.